now facing criminal charges of manslaughter after the chokehold death of a fellow passenger on a New York City subway. The case sparking protests and spotlighting the delicate balancing act between public safety and protecting those struggling with mental illness and homelessness. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, 12 days after he was seen with his arms around Jordan Neely's neck in a deadly chokehold on a New York City subway, Daniel Penny is possibly facing up to 15 years behind bars. The 24-year-old Marine Corps veteran in handcuffs after turning himself in just after 8 a.m. this morning.
He did so voluntarily and with the sort of dignity and integrity that is characteristic of his history of service to this grateful nation.
Prosecutors say they reviewed the disturbing video showing Penny choking Neely on a subway train on May 1st and say at the point that the defendant releases his arm from Mr. Neely's neck, Mr. Neely appears to be unconscious. Penny was initially questioned and released without charges, while police say Neely acted aggressively toward riders on the subway that day. Sources tell ABC News that Penny was not specifically threatened by Neely. Attorneys for Neely's family criticizing the decision to charge Penny with manslaughter and not murder.
The consequences of manslaughter, too, is 5 to 15 years. Ask yourself, is that enough?
Our thanks to Stephanie. Daniel Penny did not enter a plea and was released on a $100,000 bond.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for
Hello, everyone. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. And if you guys can, that's great. I'm so happy to be with you guys tonight. We're going to have a short live. This is not going to be a long live. I'm going to try to end this in the next 90 minutes. I just want to put that out there because I do have work in the morning. This is something that we definitely need to talk about. Black women, white men. I've already put the link. Excuse me, guys. I've already put the link in the subscription box. As you said, it's a little staticky. Hi, Room for the Public. Thank you for that shout out. Yes, I'm going to make this live short. It's not going to be a long live because I have to get out in the morning. So thank you for that concern. I do appreciate that. Kathleen King, do you still hear staticky on your end? If you do, try to refresh your page. Okay, guys, so I'm going to get this started. This is some background. It's a little staticky. Okay, let me see what's going on here. I might have to, let's see what's going on here, guys. Give me one moment. Is it better now? Okay, guys, just give me 1 minute and I'm going to come back and refresh, okay? Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys, do you hear me better now? Okay, so it seems like everything is good because I'm playing this on another device. So you guys are saying yes, so that's a good thing. I'm so sorry about that. That's how StreamYard is sometimes. Hi, Dark Mother Vessel. How you're doing? Hi, everybody. Like I said, guys, I'm not going to make this long. You guys will have a chance to come up and speak as well. Show your love and support for Daniel Penny. We are going to do a little bit of background information on these two men here. Just give me 5 seconds. Okay, so moving forward, we have here a Daniel Penny. Although much is not known publicly about his personal life, we do know that he enlisted in the Marine Corps in 2017 and served as a assault man. This indicates his strong devotion to his country and his unwavering commitment to the military as a Marine Corps veteran. Daniel dedication and bravery have earned him a place of honor in the hearts of many. Daniel Penny is also born in 1999. He's very young. He's only 24 years old, and he has accomplished a lot. We are going to move forward with the man that they claim that he committed a crime against. Let's move over. This is more information that I'm going to get back on with that. So this is the man that he supposedly unalived. We already know these particular group of men social standing, their status is conquered. And his occupation basically was a homeless Michael Jackson impersonator / panhandler. One of his hobbies was elder abuse. Of course, Black women's number one threat, and also the contribute of the $50 billion problem, and his net worth is also zero. More about this Mr. Neely character. In 2021, he punched a 67-year-old woman in the street, breaking her nose and causing severe facial injuries. Neely had been arrested more than 40 times, including for numerous violent assaults on strangers in the New York City subway. He has cycled in and out of hospitals and jails his entire adult life, and he was on the city's top 50 list of homeless people most in need of outreach. Daniel Penny, social status, conqueror. Occupation, a former Marine who risked his own safety to protect other, more vulnerable passengers from threats from a mentally unstable man with a criminal record for violent assaults, including several on the subway, has been murdered, a vigilante, and a murderer. Hobbies, beating up the $50 billion problem, and Black women's number one threat. And from my research, his net worth is $1 million. So guys, tell me what you guys think about this situation, and where are Black women in these situations, and what are we going to do to support men that step up to the plate and protect? Marcus Robinson, I hope you're here to surrender. Are you here to surrender, Marcus Robinson? Because I remember you. What are you doing here? Marcus Robbins, are you going to come up and talk? Tell us why you like to go around and threaten people, and one of our leaders of the world have to take one of you out. Could you explain that to me? Could you come up and explain why you guys won't behave yourselves? Could you explain why you are the most homeless group of men in the country and you only make up 6%? Could you explain why you're committing 49 to 50% of the crime when you only make up 60%? Could you explain why you are creating single mothers out of every racial group of women? Could you explain that? Why are you here, Marcus Robinson, or whoever you are? Moving forward, guys. So this is the situation that we're dealing with right now, guys. I need you guys to come up, show some support for Daniel Penny. I am in the process of creating a petition, Black Women for Daniel Penny. This is very important for us to start showing support for men that stands up and protects people. I'm still looking for more information on who was on that train. I wouldn't be surprised if there were Black women on that train, because there is a lot of Black women in New York. Hello, Dark Mother.
Let me get the echo. I think that my device is.
Oh, okay. I can hear you fine on my end.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, because I kept hearing an echo because I think I had you on 2 devices.
Okay. So what do you think about this situation? What do you have to say about this? And what do you believe Black women should do?
I mean, at this point, it's basically just a separation because, of course, they're out here still trying to paint this man as a victim, even though he was making a disturbance on the subway. He was threatening people, and everyone kept saying, "Oh, well, it was just because he's hungry." Okay, but lots of people are hungry. That doesn't give you the right to threaten anyone else. And what I think about the situation is, here it is yet again, because this happened in New York, I believe.
Yep, New York.
It just goes to show that these people who claim that they have all these policies of let's help all the underprivileged, they're like that until it comes to their neighborhood, because these are the same New Yorkers who, whenever our governor started busing immigrants to their cities because they claim that they're sanctuary cities, and instead of deporting them, he started sending them up there. It's like, well, then you take care of them because we don't have the funds for them. They left them sitting in hotels for as long as they had funding, and now they're trying to ship them off somewhere else. They do not gather the funding that they claim that they need. They're the ones that are always championing, let's go ahead and help out the homeless and this, that, and the other, but they don't do that. They're not generating any funds to take care of their homeless that were there before. They haven't generated any funds to take care of the immigrants that are being sent to them, and they're not generating any funds to help mentally ill people. So for them to continue to talk out of both sides of their neck and saying that, oh yeah, let's help the homeless and let's help these people, but you're not generating any funds. And then when people take matters into their own hands because they're being threatened, then you want to cry racism and try and make him, as they call it, railroading to a guy that actually tried to defend other people on the train. So, I mean, my personal thoughts on this situation is just that it's it's theater. It's political theater. They're not actually going to do anything to help mentally ill people, and anybody who defends themselves, depending on their skin color, is going to basically be a sacrificial lamb, is what I think.
Well, the question is right now is we have to in a way kind of move forward, and we have to figure out what we're going to do about these type of situations. We need to figure out some type of way that we can support these men that do step up and protect people in a time of need. When it comes down to these type of men, me personally, because I'm originally from New York, so I've seen it most of my life. I mean, I've been to a lot of different major metropolitan cities, and you see a lot of homeless people and all this other stuff. Um, and you know, but some of these people really don't want to be helped. Some of these people can't be helped. And that's just really what it is. And some of these people are really not even mentally ill. Some of them are pretending.
Really?
Yeah, some of them are pretending just so they can be taken care of. So you'll be surprised. So some of them are not actually mentally ill. Some of them just claim to be mentally ill. I worked in nursing before, so I know the system and how the system works and the type of funding they put into these people. I mean, years ago, I mean, this was a while ago, they used to give people apartments and pay for their apartments and all this other stuff, but they don't really do that anymore because a lot of people were pretending just to be mentally ill, just to get a free apartment or free housing and free government assistance because of that. So, but the question is that most of these men are Black men. Black men are the most homeless group of men in the country and in any major city. And then Hispanic men, then it will be white and Asian men. So the question is that because it seems like he knew all these people. So, and if he was this great guy, why didn't none of these people that he knew give him a place to stay? So that says a lot.
Right.
So
Yeah. Well, as far as what we as Black women should do, because if that's the question that you're asking to move forward, is well, I think that man actually the Marine, I think he has a GoFundMe. We should be supporting him by donating what we can to his defense fund. We should also, because I know it's kind of dangerous to be open about about how our support and whatnot, but we should really start trying to drive home to other like-minded women that that this whole, for lack of a better term, but just because it's used so often, this one-sided loyalty we have in the Black community has got to end, because it really is not benefiting us, and it's deadly. This guy, as you're speaking of, the Michael Jackson impersonator, was attacking elderly women. Why are we supporting this just because he's a Black man? And like you said, if y'all really did care about him and you really wanted to support him, then he shouldn't have been on that train in the first place. Y'all should have been giving him a place to stay. So this really does have to end. We really got to start driving home some common sense.
thank you so much for that, Dark Mother. I want to get to Roadrunner real quick. Thank you so much for being here, Melinda. I'm going to get to you next. Roadrunner, what is your Brent? What is your take on this? Your opinion? Basically, you are a white man, so this is a situation that can actually happen to you. So, what is your take on this? And also, what can Black women do to support white men in Mr. Daniels' situation currently?
Well, this whole thing is so unfortunate because he was protecting. And, when you do stupid things, you threaten people. And, sometimes a man will stand up and protect. And, it happened that he was unalived. I guess he was choked too hard or whatever, cut his airway too long. but you don't go threatening people. Here's the thing: a lot of crazy stuff happens on the subway. I've done some stories where there was a train in Philadelphia where a woman was AR'd while
Yep.
people were watching.
Mm-hmm.
And people have been gunned down in subways. People have been unalived. And this man stepped up to protect. And unfortunately, that homeless guy got unalived. But, you know, when you do stupid things happen to you. And, you know, but don't we want men to stand up and protect and do something instead of being an innocent bystander and just watch? And, you know, well, I ain't going to get involved. But see, here, the justice system, they want to make this guy a victim, like he's a good guy, and just this white dude just decided to choke him for no reason. That's not the case. And, you know, what do? Honestly, I don't think he should be charged because he was protecting. Now, I don't think he says, I'm going to choke him till he can't breathe no more and be done forever. But caught up in the heat of the moment, does he know if this guy has a gun, a knife, or what's he going to do to the other people or even himself? Because when you step in and you're actually in the fight, I mean, anything can happen. So it's just unfortunately that they're going to try to charge him and try to get the most years out of him. But all, in my opinion, he was doing is protecting. It's unfortunate the guy got killed, but got unalive, but he shouldn't have been doing what he was doing. And, you know, and like I said, there's so much things that happen on subways. You know, you don't want to act crazy. It's kind of almost like acting crazy on a plane. You know, you don't do that. But, you know, what do? So many people do not do anything. They'll just sit back and watch and not want to get involved. And that's the problem in society. So I think he did the right thing getting involved. Unfortunately, they're going to be charged, and hopefully, you know, he's not sent to jail, or, you know, because I don't know. It just, it's sad. It's ridiculous. But the prosecution is going to try to make him look like a victim, like he's a good guy, and this white guy went too far. But how far do you go when you're protecting? You know, caught up in the heat of the moment. From what I've seen in this case, it's unfortunate. And I'm afraid this guy's going to be charged and go to jail for trying to do the right thing. Yeah, but, you know, that's my opinion on it.
Brent, what can Black women do for support when it comes down to white men being in this type of situation?
What could they do for support? Like when it's happening?
Yes. Or after the situation. What can Black women do now to show support for a man like Daniel Penny and future others?
What they could do is, you know, they could speak out on it. I know that might be a little dangerous because, you know, a case like this, maybe speak out but not have your identity shown. I think there's a GoFundMe right now. They're raising money. You could donate to that. And just speak out about protecting Black women. Black women, I think Black women can do is speak out about protecting Black women. And look, Black women, you need to be in the safest place. You need to be around the safest men out there. And sometimes you got to date and marry out to be in the safest situation. Now I know I'm kind of getting off topic with that, but if we're looking for
No, I don't
stability,
believe so, Brent. Keep going.
yeah. But if you want to be safe and you want to have, you know, protection, and you want the man to lift you up, love you, and treat you like the treasure you are, um, looking at the stats, Black women have to open up their options. From what I've seen by the numbers, there's really no other way. And but how Black women can support white men that have the courage to stand up is speak out. And you know, and in your life, talk about these situations. Talk about what's the best option. Ladies, talk to each other. What is the best option for you to have a life, a marriage, a secure family, you know, a home? Right now, it's not about race anymore. That's gone out the window. In reality, it's about survival. Who's the best option for each other? And naturally, the strong survive. And look, when I talk about the strong, I'm not just talking physically, I'm talking mentally strong. I'm talking being disciplined, you know, moving in society, you know, and having the courage to protect. He stood up. He said, you know what, I'm going to protect. And this guy got unalived in the process, but you know, I don't think he should be charged. Really, I don't. It's an accidental death that happened, and this guy caused it. It's kind of like waving a gun at a police officer and not expect to be shot. I mean, that's the way I look at this thing. It's sad. But Black women, I say the best way Black women can protect themselves is get with the right men. Get out of the inner cities. Find a way to get to the suburbs where the crime is lower and men have more resources, have more character. And I ain't going to tell you what the race is, but get out there. You'll figure it out. I know that might sound easier said than done, but really strategic. And, you know, but that would be my advice. And how Black women, and like I said, you probably can't go in the media and show your face and speak out because you got some crazies out there that think this guy was just a good schoolboy that was attacked by a racist white guy, which that ain't the case at all. But they'll spin it in that way. But there's ways you can support. And starting now, open up your options. Look, that's the safest thing you can do. Go to the men that love you and want to protect you, want to provide for you. Get in the neighborhoods that are safer. Seriously. Women, be hypergamous. You know what? You want a man that has money, wealth, and resources. That's not gold digging. That's being strategic, because this is going to affect your life and your children's life. But I can go on and on about this. But number one, this thing already happened. But I would say for Black women, the best thing you could do is open up your options. Have that option button open. Now, if you find that diamond in the rough, that unicorn that's good for you and does it, okay. But look at the numbers. What's the chances of that? Just saying. But that's just my thoughts on this.
Thank you so much for that, Brent. Melinda, thank you for being here. What is your take on this situation that we're dealing with currently?
Yeah, well, hey there. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having this tonight. And hello to the panel and hello to the chat. I was trying to dig up some Facebook stuff where the comments from Black people regarding this, I literally had to post, it was difficult to find an article or something on, like, let's say YouTube, like a short vid or something, a news clip that wasn't slanted in the most protective way of the criminal, the one who was threatening to kill everybody. Y'all, I'm looking at this. I'm thinking, I never knew how long we've been under this protectionism of, protecting Black male criminality and stuff. But some sites are really babying this guy. And sometimes I'm thinking, oh my goodness, but I found an article and I had to post it under Facebook, on Facebook to some people who were like, because Black people really go straight into Black male protection mode. And I'm sure PW, I know you know what this looks like. It was like the comments. I think I'll send them to you in another time. I can't really dig them up right now, but I did some screenshots. It's like the Black community goes first to, oh, look at what they did to him, type of thing. And even the media is protective of the foolishness. This guy, what you just described, because I even had to look up, more of his stuff. He's worse than I thought. So I just wanted to say that to you. I think that we don't realize that we've been under, it's literally almost been like a false reality. And that's what it is. And Black women have been duped the most, but the world has too. Black men are not victims. And that's just what I want to say. I'm sorry. I hope I wasn't too wordy with this, but before I called, I had all, like, a couple of hours ago, I had it all set out. Like, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that, I'm going to say this, because I was like, it's so clear to me. And it's so clear that it's even biblical to me that I think some stuff has been flipped. I'm just saying, because the victimhood stuff, and when I still see Black guys making comments about their victimhood, I don't care what it is, y'all. You tell them a situation, or they'll see a situation come up and they go straight to, well, this happened to us and the Black man this and the Black man that, and the Black woman comes in with her cape on, flapping in the wind to defend it. So that's what I want to say. I just think that this is so sad when I look at this man protecting people who literally could have been offed. They didn't even know about this guy's history. But what the media will show is him being, subdued. And they said, and the guy who's the Marine, because I don't know his name right off the head, but he waited. One of the witnesses said he even waited until a direct threat was made, and then he acted. There wasn't this guy being jumped on. But in a lot of things, even with the Michael Brown, the hand of don't shoot, that's a lie too. A lot of things are lies. So I just wanted to say that.
I just wanted to add on to what you were saying about that, because it's funny how they just picked out the Marine, because he was not the only one holding this man down. Other people helped, because that man was threatened.
Oh, wow. Are you serious? So
Yeah.
they have that one
that out
clip.
there. I'm sorry to cut you guys off. I'm going to let you guys continue. They are trying to also get those two guys that helped. They're going to try to get them on accessory. So this is going to be a part 2.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They've been talking about the Marines so much. I didn't hear if they even did anything to the other 2 men that were helping. But I know that that somebody helped. There was people that helped him. So this wasn't like, oh, this one racist guy just all of a sudden saw this Black dude living his life and just choked him. He was being he was being restrained by multiple people because he was threatening people on the subway.
And people are hypersensitive because of folks. I mean, there was another with the older black guy shooting
James
and stuff
Frank.
on a train. People are afraid when someone makes a comment like that, a threat like that. Why wouldn't people act? I would be afraid in a world where someone wouldn't think enough of the general public to tackle someone who's a threat to other people. It really is, like I said, y'all, I'm telling you, I'm starting to see that what we've been told who the victim is not the victim, and the things written about the people so-called victim it is true. Black men are not victims. I'm serious. And when I look at this, I look at situations where I'll read comments, and I'll read Black women's comments too. And I'm thinking, are y'all really believing this? But at the same time, I can understand because media is powerful, and I see how media manipulates, especially Black people, because it's easy. And I think that's why it's done. But it's disgusting. So that I want to say that, but it's just not. It's not true. And I'm going to do some more weighing in on what I've like the digging that I've been doing, and I'm going way back. I'm talking biblical. There's something wrong about what we've been taught, and I'm seeing the temperament, the characteristics of certain male group versus certain male group, and it's not adding up what they've been talking about who's the enemy. That's just what I want to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's exactly why I created this channel, because this has been a long history of of Black men perpetuating the same behavior. Brent, do you want to add anything to this?
What I would say is, with them trying to charge the people that were helping, and it's like they're doing more damage than good, because what's going to happen is a lot of people will see this case and not get involved at all. And another guy like this that's threatening will actually unalive some people. And when we do nothing, bad things happen. Okay? Yeah, this guy was sent to meet his maker, but if he wasn't threatening people and acting the way he was, this wouldn't have happened. A lot of times people get unalived because they threaten people or they assault people. And we can't excuse this. We can't make him the victim and act like he did nothing wrong. Okay? And I would refer to, you guys ever heard about the Stand Your Ground law in Florida? And I think there's other states that have that. Did you know? Yeah. Did you know?
Yeah, in Texas, if somebody's on your property at night, we can shoot you.
Yeah.
But I think they'll be coming after that too soon, Brent. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just saying, yeah. I think at some point, because what alerted me to with this media stuff, and I'm saying it was DJT, 2016 to 2020. That was when I first became aware of how manipulative the media is and how much swayed it is to a certain agenda and narratives. And those narratives do not benefit Black people. And those narratives have protected the worst of abusers, the worst of humankind. It protects them, meanwhile harming decent people people who, because again, and I think it's an agenda too, because again, it's always, y'all, the thing is to make a certain group look bad or worse in comparison to the group or the male who is doing the most and really causing harm. And what Black women need to see and look at is this: when you are the victim of the people they're calling a victim, you need to be out marching and not marching. There needs to be you standing up for Black women. Really have to almost be a separate group and standing up for themselves and say, look, no, who you're saying is the victim is not the victim. Actually, they're victimizing us. And so that's what I'm saying. They need to make the white male he's the aggressor. And Black men's music and imagery and all the culture can be as degenerate AF, but he's still a victim. How are you a victim? So I just I'm sorry, Brent, I interrupted you, but it was like sometimes I'm working this out in my head as I think about it, and it's obscene and it's dangerous, but it's hurting Black women, and Black women will be the first people on the line.
I think, well, when I was referring to the stand your ground law, I think this should be enacted, and people say you're radical, it's not right. But yeah, because if someone assaults you and you shoot them and unalive them, that's considered self-defense. And that's what happened with the George Zimmerman case. The reason he got off and didn't go to jail because the stand your ground law. Now that didn't just.
But this won't be it. But they're going to look for a way to make this man a victim. None of this is even poised to be stand your ground, because even if he's protected, they're leaving out the witnesses. They're not even counting the witnesses who are telling people the truth of what happened. They're saying stuff like Black man asking for food is attacked and put in a chokehold by a white man, by a white Marine. They're really making that they're making the Black man into the infant, like he's a child being attacked by the giant. That's what this is looking like. You just go down every media report, you watch it, and you can see the leanings, and you can see how it's politically set up to make the white male look like the enemy, and the Black male is this victim, yet he's still a powerful king.
And you know what? They do that to media because this story is going to get them their ratings. This story is going to stir up emotions. This story is going to get people angry, upset, emotional. It's going to get them in a hyper racist thought process where they just see a white man assaulting a Black man. They don't even look. They're not even going. A lot of people won't even look at the evidence and see what happened. They just say, "Oh, he's a homeless guy and he's hungry, so he just choked them out." No, that's not what happened.
42 arrests. 42 arrests. One thing said, "Oh, don't you worry. Oh, why are they, using his arrests against him?" 42 arrests. How do you use? They're even saying you shouldn't even use his 42 arrests against him. That's how bad this is, and that's why I say when Black men are saying that we're victims, we're oppressed, and they'll put a Bible verse up about being oppressed, and I'll be like, I'll go to the same Bible and debunk them and stuff. But again, y'all, this is a culture. The politicism of it has created a culture of victimhood in Black people. And the sad part of it is Black women have been literally, it's almost like they're militarizing Black women's mindsets to protect the Black male still, that he's a victim. So I just think that it shows me who they are. They aren't masculine. They're not men. They manipulate everything that they can to say that they're the victim. And I think our rights to protect ourselves legit are being infringed upon. So that's what, again, it's been way before this. It's been happening. It's been in media. It's been in movies. It's been in, movies, television, everything. But we're waking up now, and I think that there will be a sway, at least an awakening will sway things. But Black women, I think, too, really have to be awake and have to do something, but not be afraid.
Yeah, and I just wonder, what if this was a Black woman acting crazy, threatening people? Do you think that
she would be called ghetto? She would be immediately thrown in jail, and nobody would care.
Yeah, I mean, because I see news reports of Black women, things happening, and the media does not cover it like they do with a Black man. I'm serious. And it's crazy. I mean, there's no protest there. If there is, it's really little and nothing leads to anything. But this story, and look, the media, they are, they're ready to run with this story because it's going to get so many ratings, it's not even funny. And it's going to be used political. There's going to be a racist element. There's going to be a racist tag they're going to put on this, and they're going to stir people's emotions. And it's the victim mentality. Even I've seen so many times when you have Black on Black crime that happens, and they'll say, well, it's because of white supremacy in our system. They'll always give it that excuse. And we need to stop that. Look, this guy was protecting. Yeah, he was unalived. That we don't want to see that, right? But come on, you can't go threatening people. You can't assault people and expect that good things to happen to you. It's like if a cop comes to your house and you're waving a gun at him, do you expect not to get shot? I mean, I think this is kind of like this. When you threaten people, do you expect nothing to happen? Maybe he's threatened people before and nobody did nothing. Finally, one guy did something. I'm just, and here's the thing. If we're going to prosecute this guy, throw him in jail and do all this stuff, what happens when this happens again on the subway? Is anybody going to want to even jump in? Because they say, dang, if I do anything, I'm going to prison. You're making the criminal the victim. And I mean, don't we do this though? But anyway, yeah. But Melinda popped off. I wonder if she fell off or.
Yeah, she probably fell off. I already put the link back in this description box. Yeah, StreamYards. That's why I went over to Google Duo, because when it comes to certain content, but I decided to use StreamYards tonight. Okay. But that's how it is. Dark Mother, would you like to add anything to this?
Yes. Actually, what I was gonna say in regards to this is, oh my God, I got thrown off the page. Anywho, what I was gonna go ahead and say to this was, when Melinda talking about Black women being militarized by in a position to basically take over the whole coddling of Black males is, I mean, it's been said before, and I get it that everybody's in different stages of realizing what is the game that's being played here. But it has been said before that this is happening because Black women are mothers, and they want so badly, well, we want so badly to believe that our sons have the capacity to be good men just like everybody else. And I'm going to be honest here. myself believe that I believe that they absolutely choose not to. It's not that they can't, they won't. And as long as we continue to go along with the whole narrative of giving them an excuse of why they can't be better, that's just how it's going to be. Instead of, telling them that if you, how's that saying go? If you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. We give them anything and everything else to blame except themselves. Oh, it's the prison industrial complex. Oh, it's, politicians doing all these types of white supremacist things. And those excuses have become excuses because while those things happen, it doesn't happen as on a mass scale like they claim that it does. A lot of that stuff, y'all are doing it to yourselves. And it saddens me because, we keep saying things like, oh, Black women need to wake up, or they're starting to wake up. And well, how much longer do you need? These men, that femicide rate, it keeps getting shorter and shorter and shorter. What else do you need to wake up and see that the people that you've been told are your enemies, the people who are trying to protect you, they put laws in, you guys, basically, it's almost like the collective of Black women want to be wiped off the face of the earth because she will not address her son. And I don't know what else we can do about that except for just take the women who are like-minded and, like I said earlier, continue to, or even though we can't outright say it because it is dangerous, you never know who you can trust with these things. We do need to start talking to each other and start like some type of, a coalition or something, and start making moves because we have got to start getting laws passed. We have got to start actually making and holding people accountable. And if some Black women get swept up with that, then they just gonna have to go too, because this is not working. We can't have this. We cannot have a grown man on a train threatening people just because he's hungry. And he's been doing this enough times where he's gotten 40 plus arrests and nobody did anything. And now they're all upset because he was accidentally taken out because he messed around, found out one too many times. This is not working. So,
Yeah,
sorry.
thank you. No, it's okay. Thank you for so much for that, Dark Mother. Because of what you just said, I do want to go to Brent. When
Go
you
ahead.
started talking about, the lawmaking and all this other stuff. So, Brent, I'm going to go to you. What is your response to what Dark Mother was saying?
And what part that she was saying?
She was talking about laws. Repeat what you said again, Dark Mother.
I was just saying how unfortunately that not all Black women are going to make it, and the ones that are, we do need to start being progressive about actually getting laws made, about being more aggressive about our own protection, making sure that we are, concealed carry certified and everything else to protect ourselves. We have to have some type of protection because that femicide rate is getting too short.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I got it. Yeah, and she's absolutely right. And I would go back to the stand your ground law. I think we need that because we can't have people just acting out and threatening, because a lot of these acting out and threats turn to actual assaults and people getting AR'd on these trains. And look, there's been many stories this has happened, and the Black femicide rate is extremely high. Look, I got some news stories I'm going to cover. And a lot of these are Black women beautiful, highly educated black women got their whole life ahead of them. And because of some dusty dude that's a victim, these women are getting unalived. And we need to have, conceal and carry laws. We black women need to be packing. I believe this. Yes, I would encourage it. I think the states need to look at the black femicide and say, you know what? These women are unalived, and most cases it's by men they know, their fiancés. Many cases, a lot of times it's people they have relationships with. Yeah, once in a while it's someone they don't know, but most of the time it's a domestic violence thing gone wrong. And look, when somebody's a victim their whole life, when they do crimes, there's always an excuse. Well, it's white supremacy. Well, I'm hungry, so that's why I acted out. And that's why, this person acts, I took out this person, but, it's society. It's, nobody cared for me. Nobody gave me a hug. So I had no choice. We're giving criminals so many excuses and so many things. But something needs to happen. We need to be more aggressive when it comes to law and order. We don't need to be so quick to, try to make the perpetrator the victim. Analyze what happened. He was threatening people, acting out. Guess what? And I think Dark Mother said it brilliantly. You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. And that's what happened. But if this man don't act, what would he have done to those people? Would he unalive some people? We don't know. But if people know that if you act out on a train, somebody's going to put the smack down on you, or people are packing, they'll be more hesitant to act out and do this. When you make it easier for criminals, you put us all in danger. And this is what this case is going to do, in my opinion. I think they'll probably convict him because it'll be a racial thing, and and I think what it's going to do is put us all in more danger. People aren't going to want to get involved. People aren't going to want to do nothing. They're going to be too afraid. And it shouldn't be that way. This man should walk. You know what? Yeah, he was sent to meet his maker, but he shouldn't have done what he did. This should be like a stand your ground case. It wasn't like he said, hey, I'm hungry, and I'm going to choke him out, because no. But anyway, I don't want to get too long-winded, but that's what I think. And like I said, how do you protect Black women? We can make laws and legislation, but maybe Black women have a conceal and carry permit, just in case, because you never know. How do you fix Black femicide? We need to brainstorm this, really. Our politicians, our lawmakers need to think about this and quit trying to jump on the criminals. Sorry, guys. I had to sneeze. Excuse me. But we need to stop, pampering the criminal and see how we can stop crime. But anyway.
I think that it will start with deprogramming. Somehow, some way, Black women have got to get together, and we have got to start deprogramming ourselves to understand that even though basically that's saying that skin folk ain't kinfolk, and just because you are giving birth to these men, just because they're your sons, they do not care and they still grow up to hate you, and they have either just bad interactions with women that they're trying to punish that look like you, or fatal interactions with women that look like you. So it's got to be a separation of understanding that just because you gave birth to someone doesn't mean that they're a little angel. Because, I mean, look at any, take race out of it, and look at any mother that had to deal with a child that committed a heinous crime. It's like, on the one hand, your child is still your child, but you accept and understand that they have to answer for what they did. And while there are some of them that'll still stand back and say, my child didn't do it, or any of that type of stuff, there's plenty of them who, they grieve. It's their child, but they understand my child did something bad, and they have to answer for what they've done. And while they feel sorry for their child, they're not necessarily, cursing out everybody else who punished them and saying how they shouldn't have done that or anything. Well, your child shouldn't have done what they did either. And it's just a shame to me that Black women as a collective don't seem to understand that you can still love your child that you gave birth to, but if they're going to be a problem, you don't need to stand in the way and allow them to continue to be a monster. There's a difference between, loving and straight up being dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, a mother's love goes deep. I mean, a mother will love her child even if he's the most heinous, most evil person. It's, that's a mother's love. But you're right. I mean, we got to hold everybody accountable, even if they're our children. I mean, if they do wrong, they do wrong. There's consequences, and we need to have consequences. And I've been thinking, I was thinking, we got this racial thing and these excuses. And I was thinking, maybe if we all opened up our options and just had all biracial children across the board, maybe we couldn't have that excuse. But, people are so corrupt. We'll find ways to, hate each other and make others
I was about
victims.
to say that will never work, because they will always find a way to figure out some other way that they can blame or make an excuse.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And we already know the type, sometimes even with the who the biracials are, who has the biracials is problematic too, because it's not like, but, and it's typically not black women's biracials. Cause again, I think I tell you, I have two sisters, my Black women who have biracial children with white men and other races of men. There's not that issue, but I think I was kind of riffing off what Brent was just saying. It's sort of like, y'all, I don't mean to be lagging with this. It's just that because it's blowing my mind even the more that I kind of discover, the more that, I go and look at different things that are being said. There are people more worried about the N-word than they are worried about things that really should be mattering. And literally, Black men can say and do something that is so heinous, and then throw a rock and hide and say, oh, look at what this person did to me, I guess, when they try to defend themselves. So it's like, I really think that this swinging of the pendulum has not been helpful. And for we as a people, the further we get away from the boundaries, from the foundations, it's literally like the more that anything goes. And when we even look at even things like with trans, who's getting the most heat off of it? We may have seen that, like the Bud Light stuff, that's one thing. But there's going to be such an attack about that. Just like people are stopping buying it. People are now like posting, okay, this is the beer to buy, you know, and stuff like that. But when it comes to the Black community, I still think that Black women have still been bullied by the aggressor and the perpetrator. You know what I mean? It's like you will have the same people who call themselves victims be the first thing in a dress saying that they are a woman, and you know, then yet can still put some blame on Black women. Then if they're attacked because they are the aggressor and someone legally handled them and yanked them out of the frame as they should have been yanked out of the frame, somehow they're like the person who defended themselves is still the problem. So what I'm trying to say is this: Black women, we have to look at what the system is what the system is implying, and how we need to look at the system and say, look, Black men are not your allies, and know that, okay? But also defending ourselves by, you know, and having allies, and the allies, people who do come up to you know, be beside you and realize that, hey, this is wrong, and I'm just going to be on the side of what is right. Black women, you have to realize there's right and wrong. But when I see Black people who claim to be, you know, again, when it comes to this, y'all, that's why I say that with religion, Black people are in religion and they're still doing this and believing this. So we have to reevaluate a whole lot of things, because it's not, religion won't fix this. This is such deep set stuff that this is almost in the marrow. So when you can tell a person who says they're faithful and they're this and they're that they can protect a criminal, how? So again, we need to go to the roots of some stuff, and it's not going to be. We have religion. You're not going to pray it away. I believe there is, because again, if we've been afforded the knowledge to be able to look and be introspective, to look at the mind and how people react, just look at it in the way it's supposed to be, not in the way that people have manipulated it to be and made it perverse. I'm talking about in the way that it's supposed to be, some altruism. Look at how a people can see wrong and be done wrong and be the most abused women, to be the most left behind women, to be the most single baby mamas, to be the most unmarried by the males who are supposed to be their counterparts, how they can still defend those males. This is beyond the bounds of what we even have ever wanted to approach and to be able to be understood. So I'm just saying this. I know I've been wordy. I'm sorry, but
I want to address what you're saying about religion, though, if you don't mind.
Of course, go.
All right. I wanted you to finish your thought, but I just didn't want the subject to.
Yeah, I think I pretty much finished it, because it's not picking on it. Let me make that clear for the people who are like, I'm from baptized, all that kind of stuff, and what I'm just saying is that has not changed a lot of things. Black people can be dancing and tambourining and falling out and stuff and not having the same results as other people. This is not about religion. This is something else. So go ahead, sis. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No, that's absolutely. I want to do that. I want to address that because of the simple fact that it's that fake Christianity, because it's that pick and choose BS that they love to do. Why is it that you can forgive every criminal in our community, whatever transgression that they've done, but you don't forgive others? So if you can forgive this man that's just racked up 40 plus assaults and other criminal activity, why is it that you can't forgive dead people for slavery, and you still taking it out on their descendants.
Exactly.
I'm glad that you said it, because that makes absolutely no sense. So you can forgive people who are sitting here taking from you on a daily, who are bloodying you every day, who are killing your children, unaliving your children, and basically, and I hate to be like this because I am a pro-choice woman, but I believe in choice though. And if you, most of these men will lie to these women to get into their pants, and then when they end up pregnant, all of a sudden you want to delete somebody, even though you lied to get there in the first place. And it makes me so mad. And the reason why I refuse to not be pro-choice is because they always tell the women to keep their legs closed, but they don't never tell these men that they don't have to have sex either. And I don't understand how it is that these people in our communities, specifically the males, can violate us over and over and over on a daily, but we gotta sit here and go and march down the street for dead people that did stuff to us in the past.
Right. And Daniel Penny has to be someone who, when this man saw a problem and didn't, and I want to reiterate, witnesses state that he sat there, listened to this dude act a plumb fool, erratic and behaving the way I'm sure y'all know how they behave, we know. And he sat there and watched it. And only when there was a direct threat made, then it was like, okay, you know what, look, and then did a move that was not a move. It's not some kill move. It's just that, you know what I mean? It wasn't something to off this guy. Then put him on the side in a recovery position to be, so y'all, this was not somebody looking to harm someone. This was someone trying to get rid of get the threat, subdue the threat, subdue the person who was trying to harm some people. So whatever he was on, that was something else. So whatever got him out of here, it was something, a buildup of whatever was going on with him in the first place. But they're really trying to make this look like, so I'm afraid it's the optics. And what I'm afraid of is when this keeps happening, people are getting sick of it. And Black women, you and other people, you have to defend yourself. You have to not be on the side of anything that tells you that you don't have the right to defend yourself. And that means weaponry. That's natural. That's biblical. So again, when you look at this leftism stuff, I'm being honest, it goes against what is something that would be to defend you and your family. It goes against what true progression is. What progressivism is to what this lie of progress is actually regressive, and it will actually harm you. But the most victimized people in the world have been sold a bill of goods that they are going against your best interests, for the worst of your community, because the criminals don't give up their guns. They never do. And I think that you don't realize that that's what it's headed to. So I'm not a fear monger, and I'm not even fear based, because I think that if there's a God like I feel and I know, and there's a force, I think that things will balance itself out. Because people always say the universe needs a vacuum, and the universe abhors a vacuum, right? So you can't have all this evil and this foolishness going on without something countering it. And this is why the Black community and the Black woman is waking up to the Black man's the lies of his victimhood. And I just want to say that. But for the guy who protected people on that train, I truly hope, even if people will call it racist and stuff like that, because we know what racism has been abused so much that when a racist situation happens, those of us who might suffer a racist situation won't even have recourse because liars have been abused it. But anyway, I hope that everything works out.
Exactly. And what you said about the racist, actual racist things that happen and them not being taken seriously, that is most definitely a thing that is happening now. And they have made it so easy to be dismissive of actual racist instances. And it's sad. And and that's but what I wanted to say to add on to what you were saying is that oh my God, karma is a thing. All those things that he did and all those instances, how do you get 40 plus assaults and then expect for nothing to happen to you, whether you want to call it God, the universe, or whatever? You keep on pressing and doing things to other people, eventually those acts are gonna catch up to you. That's such an interesting thread between all of these quote unquote victims that have been sensationalized by the media, is that when you look into their history, it's not it was just a one-time thing, or something that they probably did when they were young and stupid, because people have passed. I'm not trying to sit there and dismiss that, but these people are career criminals. They have done so many horrible things to other people, and then all of a sudden when karma finally catches up to them, you want to cry racist? Are you serious? Anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and add that on to what you were saying, because when you said that about the whole that them doing these things over and over, and all of a sudden, yep, that's exactly what it was. Karma finally caught up to this person. I'm sorry that it ended his life and that he was deleted, but that's what happens whenever you keep on tempting fate. We have I don't know if any of you guys have followed the news, but here in Texas, we have a statewide trial going on right now with this man his name is Cedric Marks. He unalived 2 people, and it's very reminiscent of OJ. He was dating this woman. They were no longer together, and he unalived her and her friend. And now he's on trial. And now it's been brought out during the trial that he possibly has unalived other people. So you keep on tempting the fates. This is what's going to happen to you.
You know what? Since you said that, oh my God, there's a couple stories out there where women were unalived because of jealousy, or because the relationship didn't work out, and they just unalived these women, and these are Black women. I got a few stories I'm going to share here in a few days, guys, but we're seeing beautiful, amazing Black women that have it all, that are highly educated, very successful, being unalived because of jealousy, because the relationship don't work or whatever happens. And there's going to be a curse, there's going to be karma. And what you said, it's true. And you can't expect to do bad things and expect to live a good life. You just can't do that. It's going to come back around. And there's good karma too. I mean, if you do great things and do good to people, it comes back that way too. But this whole thing tonight, this case, it's sad, because a man jumped in and tried to protect people. And one guy got unalived, and I'm not happy that happened. But the thing of it is when people act out and threaten, somebody's got to do something. We can't just sit back as men and just say, well, it's not my problem. Oh, I don't want to get involved. I mean, we got too many people that don't get involved. We got too many people that watch people get assaulted and and don't do nothing. And unfortunately, the one time a guy steps up to protect, now he's faced with charges. But hopefully, he could get out of this, but I don't know. The media is powerful and the political narrative is powerful and people are caught in their emotions. I really don't see good things happening out of this. But what do? Do you not act? Do you not protect? But, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But the good thing this guy has is he has people giving him support, sending him funds. So, people are on his side. So maybe somehow he can beat this. I don't know. But, and I would say in this, we need to focus on what the criminal's doing and hold them accountable. Not innocent people that act in and things happen. And this guy had so many assaults, so much other criminal activity. Sooner or later, he's probably going to end up, forfeiting his life, because you can't act that way and expect expect good things to happen. But anyway.
Well, I want to welcome somebody else to the chat. I never seen this person here. VW, how are you tonight?
Hi, good evening. Thank you for letting me get in on this live. Hi, everybody. I just love the title of your page.
Hello.
Everything.
You.
I'm just over here, just like, it's like this was church. I will go back to church. Because I'm 55 years old. I've seen a lot. I'm from Chicago, so I don't know. That's like, but my thing is, real quick, the problem is, I don't even know where to start, but I'm noticing, like, we have Kim Fox here, Cook County State's attorney, and she was the chick that was behind Jussie Smollett getting off, pretty much. Then now you got these black women politicians that are the problem. I'm looking to get up out of Chicago, and I don't want to be nowhere near where there's any black politicians, period. I don't even know where to start, but they are the problem. It seems like since a lot of more of them got in office, they're not for the people who pay their salaries, which are law-abiding taxpayers. I don't know what to do, what to suggest, but I'm not saying that they're the root of the problem, but they are the problem.
I would definitely agree with that. Not to cut you off, because you can look at crime in a 20-year span, and as there was more black politicians, more black police officers in these roles, the inner cities or in certain areas have gotten worse. So that's definitely true. So that's definitely, and that's in a lot of inner cities and in a lot of places. I mean, this is a global thing when we're talking about black male leadership. Basically, I don't even know what that is, but
right.
So,
but yeah, exactly. I mean, this goes back generations. I remember one time I got stopped by a male black police officer, and I was so scared. I was more scared of him than I was of any white cop I ever came encounter, which hasn't been many. So when I got done with him, I was just so shaken and upset by his tone and his threatening tone of voice that he was using with me. I told my dad about it, and he was so upset. And he was saying, I'm not surprised though, because we're from the South. And when he came up, when him and my parents came to Chicago, he said it was black officers were more mean to me. And mind you, this was almost 60 years ago. He said they were more mean to him than the white cops in the backwoods of Alabama. So this is nothing new. It's just I'm glad for Zaddy's internet to prove what I've gone through with black people. I can count on 2 fingers so-called racist incidents that I ever experienced. And you know what? Even then, those are linked. I'm gonna link those to black people, particularly black males, because with the incidents that I dealt with were from white men. They were saying, "Well, I see black men and black people treat each other like this all the time, so I thought it was okay."
Yep.
So it's still Rose still leads back to them. But the problem is, the reason I stayed in Blackistan too long, I finally, got out and everything. But the reason it wasn't because I was pro black male. I always had a problem with black males not being men. But it's the black women. It's been the black women, and I'm trying to get them to see, like, this is not normal, which y'all allow these black males to do. They get mad at me because I wouldn't go along with the program. And so, I don't know, I forgot who said this, but basically, when she said this, it really almost answered my question fully. Black women want not only themselves, but to everybody else around them to die, all in the name for that love of that raggedy son of theirs. You cannot be that ignorant willingly and not know that
I'm
your
so
son
glad
is a
you said
problem.
that. I'm
Yeah.
so glad you said that, because I made it very clear to the members of my family, every single one of them can get the hell off this earth, because I choose me, and you better believe that.
Sorry.
So, because they are listening.
They are the worst. Everything they touch, they destroy. I just lost my son a couple of months ago, and I blame his
I'm
dad
sorry
for
to hear
this.
that.
I tell anybody, any black woman that's willing to listen to God, an ounce of common sense left, leave black males alone. They are the worst. The lies that they tell about white people is to deflect from their fuckery.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane how, and they still perpetrate this. I don't even want to talk to black people no more, because it's like, come on, y'all. This is 2023 already. Stop it. And they
I
don't
hear
want
you.
to. It's something I've never seen in other people. I had jobs where I had to go into, and Chicago is very segregated. I get it now. I get it. It's not racist for being segregated. I get it. I get it. I get it. But the whole thing is, any black woman that got any kind of sense that wants to continue to live, she got to leave black people alone. Racism, and at first, and then after a while, when I started looking at everything going on, I was even to the point like racism don't exist. It's just a concept created by black people to for them not to have to be an adult, basically. But black people are the most racist people.
That's true. I would have to disagree because racism definitely is a thing.
And,
And
and
we here in Dallas, we have a representative like what you're talking about. Her name is Jasmine Crockett, and she is just the worst. I cannot stand her. And people put her on a pedestal just because, she does do a lot for women's rights, but she is also most definitely black male identified, and I can't stand her. But go ahead.
But it's like, and that's another thing. Like, I work in the trades, okay? So I'm usually always the only woman on the job. And this what made me say racism, as black people call racism, don't exist. Being the only woman on the job, working around black males, working for a black-owned company, you want to experience some racism? Child, work for a black-owned company. Work for a black-owned company.
You'll get a double whammy. They're racist and sexist.
Oh, and we gonna talk about the misogyny. It's off the it took a white man to tell me that I was always for women because the way my grandmother and the bitch that adopted me treated me, they were so male identified that I was just like always gunning for girls. I already knew the guys were trash, you know. But to see how black women have been so conditioned, so brainwashed by black people to not see themselves as women, but just as black. But when this white guy, after he had to check my black balls, told me, he said, Val, I feel for you. And I said, why? And he said, because not only because you're black, but you're a woman. And I knew that, but sometimes you have to hear things and listen to y'all talk tonight. I'm there. That's that moment I'm having now. I'm like, y'all able to put words to my life story, basically. And confirm how bad it is and how worse it's gonna get. So I just want to say thank y'all. Thank you for what you do for this channel, because basically you just saved my life, because it's just ridiculous. This is beyond ridiculous.
I'm sorry to laugh. I know remember what I told you, Brent? It's like the Twilight Zone, but on fentanyl crack 100 times.
Oh my yes.
Hey, I'm going to say something that's crazy and you might laugh, but with this racism thing, I'm seeing it a lot out of black men. And I'm telling you, from what I've seen and the craziness, it wouldn't surprise me if in the near future the Grand Wizard was a black man. I'm just saying, it would not surprise me of the rhetoric I've heard, what they're saying, how they degrade black women, how they talk about them in such a horrible way. Look, I tell you, I got some content pro white leadership. I'll share that with you, but you're going to be amazed, because there's a black man and a white man just tearing in the black women, and they're both okay with it. It was I just couldn't believe it. But
I worked in construction, okay? I worked in construction. I got stories. I seen it up front. So Brent, what you said, I would not be surprised. And in fact, that's why I said what I said about racism.
Yeah, and really, racism isn't a skin tone. It's an ideology. You look, and you can be a white supremacist as a black person, and vice versa. But what I'm seeing is a lot of black men degrading black women, and it blows my mind. And when I look at black women, I see so much value. And look, I'm married to a black woman, have been for 29 years. So I know the value in black women. I know what they bring, the beauty, how loving they are, and how much they put into a relationship. But I see so many black men that will tear in the black women and talk about them like they're garbage. And you know what? I can't believe it, but then again, I can believe it, because what I'm hearing and what's going on, and it's like the Twilight Zone. Things have flipped. It's not what we seen in the past or what we perceive to be happening. It's a whole different world. And look, I would say to black women, open up your options. And, I promote that. And I've looked at studies. I found that black women, white men are the most successful with marriage. But I've also found out that men of all races are better off with black women in a marriage than their own women, in their communities. I'm talking every race. And I've seen the data. And me, I'm not surprised, but a lot of people, can't understand it. They're shocked, they're confused. But it's the truth. But I'm seeing all this craziness. And this subway thing, look, this guy was trying to protect, and we're going to put him in a catch-22, and we're going to put a racist label on it. But what if he did nothing? Should he do nothing? We got too many people doing nothing. But anyway, I'm going to stop there, or I'll be talking all night. But anyway,
I'm gonna donate to his fund because when I saw this story happen, I just got a quick story, real quick. I was working on a job site, and it was this 6'4" gold grill kept harassing me on the job. And so I went and told my white foreman what was going on, because he saw I was visibly upset, and he said, "Go show me this motherfucker who he is." Mind you, he had a Confederate sugar flag on his truck, and I showed him who he was, and he was about to tear him off until our superintendent came and saw what was going on, so he had to hold him back. And he was a Marine too, by the way. That's why another this story triggered me. And he was a Marine too. And so basically it took a white guy, Southern white guy at that, because I was down in Georgia, to defend me. And mind you, all the black guys saw this black guy harass me, and they all stood around and said nothing. And so then when his foreman came to ask what was going on, and I told my side of the story, he told me I need to shut up. I said, "Bitch, you're not talking to your wife. You shut up." And so my foreman was about to go at him too, and our superintendent had to grab him. But basically, it was every time I worked on the job site, it was always the white guy had to defend me from black guys. As I said, I got stories.
Wow. I'm not surprised, but that's a daggum shame.
Right? Yep, I got stories. It's sad. They are disgusting. And I try to not even make myself sick with the idea to think that I was married to one for 34 years. It's just, ugh.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, because the fact of the matter is, even though pro-white is here, like, we all had to have this come to Jesus moment, because it's a natural thing to want to be with your own kind and want to be with your own people. But these men do not want that, and they are making it known. They've been screaming it to the top of their lungs for the longest time, and it seems like it just took this generation to finally hear them. And it is because we're in the age of the internet and being able to talk to each other, because as long as we weren't able to talk to each other, we kept quiet, because it was always sweep it under the rug. Don't tell anybody about it. You'll just be adding to the system by putting another black man in jail, or you're going against your own. And for white people, and they're going to give you a N-word moment, and they're going to make you remember that you black like us, and all this other stuff that they've been telling us for the longest time to keep us silent. And now it's gotten to the point where it's just like, you know what? I understand that there are racist white people out there, but you guys are also racist, and you guys are the ones that are hurting me. I'm done.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. They are the worst. They are the worst. I even had this thought one time, like, let's just say all of the males were to disappear. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The world wouldn't even miss them. That's how pitiful they are. I wouldn't. I sure as hell wouldn't.
I surely damn wouldn't either.
I tried to raise my son to be a man, and he was a good. It seemed like it's always the good ones that they fuck with, but and love trash. They love the trash. But did y'all hear about this black woman cop in Chicago that got killed by 4 black males?
Yep. Oh yeah. Didn't they just have her funeral?
Yeah.
Her
Did Jesse
name.
Jackson, Al Hapcom,
No,
BLM,
no,
Crump, or any of those folks come to her mama and say, "We sorry for your loss"?
Nope.
Hell
no,
no.
no,
Not
no.
during that whole 4-hour funeral. I didn't see not a one of them.
And
None of them.
how many people know her name? Her name was Ariana Preston.
Right.
I did a review on that case. Yeah, 4 black teenagers unalived her, and the reason the police found them so quick is because one of the teenage boys was bragging about it.
Yep.
And this young black woman was 24 years old. She was a police officer in Chicago.
Yes.
And she had a master's degree, a master's law degree.
From Loyola, one of the top universities in the
Yeah.
nation.
Yeah. So she I mean, she had everything going for her. She was beautiful too.
Yes.
And it's a shame, such a waste that these 4 dusty idiots had to unalive her. And the reason is they wanted money to do a barbecue or something.
For barbecue, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I've looked at those cases, and there's another news report in Detroit where a woman was unalived, highly educated in the medical field, and by a dusty dude. And I just look at this and I'm like, oh my God, these women are beautiful. They're successful. And I think one of the problems is, and ladies, you can tell me if I'm wrong, I think these women are so much more advanced than the men in their community, their counterparts, that it creates jealousy. It creates like a competition, and it just it creates problems.
Yes.
And I tell black,
yes.
and what I would say to that, black women, don't, and listen, I'm going to get hate for this. Don't be with the men in your racial group. Be with the men in your economic group. Be with the men that are socially, economically at your level.
Yes.
You'll be better off. And the men will be more secure. They'll be more successful, and you will be too. I always believe that us as men, we need to be with women at our economic level, or, she needs to be below us economically. I think that way we could be the protector and provider. Women, you need to be hypergamous. You need to go to the top. And I'm serious.
I swear, I'm glad that you brought that up.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I just wanted to throw this in because I know she's getting ready to end this live. I just want to throw this in because a certain content creator brought this to our attention, that there was this report that was done back in the 80s, I want to say, and it basically showed you how the Black community declined the way that it did. And yes, it was both sexes' fault, but it's so interesting to see the women were willing to try and build the men up, and they still, it's like they told the women back then, even back then in the 80s, and probably before that in the 60s and before, that, oh, you want what white women have, and I can't give it to you. But then they get upset whenever the women go out and go get it for themselves and say that we're emasculating them. You cannot win in this community as a Black woman. You can't go out and do better and be better because, oh, you think you're better than the rest of us. But if you don't do anything, but you still want more, then you're a gold digger. You cannot win in this community. And it's been documented for forever. I think everybody knows what report that I'm talking about, because now that one content creator brought it to everybody's attention, other content creators have been also using it and cutting pieces out of it. But it was a report from back in the 80s talking about the decline of the Black family. And it is sad to watch. Absolutely sad.
Right. And I want to just piggyback on that real quick. Brent, even if the Black male got money, intellectually, it's not a match. It's not a match. I mean, right? Black women need to be hypergamous, but even black men and black women, it's just like oil and water. It's not gonna ever mix, no matter how much money he makes. I know I wouldn't.
Yeah,
because the mentality is just not the same. Now when I look back, I always just jive with non-black men better than I could with black men. Even having a conversation with them, I just felt like I was losing brain cells. I don't care what the tax bracket was.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I've seen. You're so right, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a cultural thing. It seems that black women and white men just mesh good together. It's like us as white men that date and marry black women. We really appreciate them. We think the world of them. They're the most amazing, most beautiful women. And I think black women appreciate white men because we're showing them love. We're doing things for them instead of expecting things out of them. You know, we're not coming. Look, when I was dating, and look, I dated black women exclusively. I'm one of those weirdos that only wanted to be with a black woman.
You're not weird. Don't say that.
No, I'm just saying that's what people would call me. No, I'm not a weirdo. I had my head on straight. Everybody else was messed up.
Right. There you go.
But, you know, I could see the good qualities. I could see how beautiful black women were. And, you know, it just works good. And we appreciate each other better. I think that's why our marriages work better than any other group. And it's been shown time after time, study after study. Oh, black ministers there. Hey, buddy. Yeah, same old talking points, same truth. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, it's like, and I've always said this. I said if black men would love black women like black women love black men, they would have the most successful community in America. And I believe that to be true. But unfortunately, because of the culture and because of the ego and being the king and you got to do everything for him, it's not working. And with a marriage rate that is below 30%, your community is not going to work. You're not going to have wealth. Your children are born out of wedlock. Your community is going to be in last place. And it's not white supremacy. It's the men that aren't doing the right thing. You're not marrying the women in your community. And I say it over and over again. And like Black Minister said, same old talking points, but it's the truth. And it's going to be the same old talking points until it changes. And right now, Black women, your best option is to open up your options, to date and marry out. Black men, you need to cling to black women. I'm just saying, that's what the numbers say. This ain't me just coming up with some stuff. I've looked at many studies. I've looked at a lot of stats. And you know what? And I'm finding out now that black women, that men are better off with black women than their own women in their ethnicity or race. Something's happening here. Something's going on.
If you think about it, though, if black women are supposed to be the most educated, and if black women were to admit this, black men are boring. They don't want to build. And that was one of the main reasons I divorced my husband. He didn't want to build. He was boring. It's like with non-black men, you don't have to train them. It's like with black men, you always forever in the mother role with them.
You got to do his application for him. You got to sit here and write his essay so he can get into school. You got to do his homework for him. You got to
wipe his ass, damn
near. It's like having it. Like if y'all are in a relationship, he literally is another child.
Literally. I used to tell people all the time, I got 4 children. The dog, I 2 children, and his ass.
Right.
I find it funny though that there's one of the as we call them beta kings.
Yeah.
But he's here in the chat talking about somebody else's IQ. Yet you're over here with a bunch of women who don't want anything to do with you.
See,
Why is that? Why do y'all always follow us around? You tell us that we're undesirable and nobody wants us, and here we have a channel where there are men who are interested, and yet here you guys come still trying to detract. Why? I thought nobody wants us. You don't have to do anything. If that's really how it is, then this won't go anywhere, but you're scared and you have reason to be. So
if black women was to lead a black community in droves, it would shut the fuck down. Period.
Which they kind of are. It's at a trickle right now, but that floodgate is open, and it's happening.
Ladies, that is the whole point over here at Pro White Male Leadership, and I'm going to do a live on that.
Hey, can I say something to Black Minister? He says I got an IQ of a fish, right? That's a pretty smart fish. But you know what? I can have more success with a black woman than you can, Black Minister. You know what? Because I love her, I respect her, and I know the value that she brings. And I have a 29-year marriage with a black woman. I got 3 kids that are all college educated. I have a great marriage. I have a wife that loves me. I have wealth. I have a legacy. Black Minister, what the hell do you have?
Boom.
I mean, seriously.
Why would you ask him that? You know he's going to come up here and lie.
All I know is he better take a look at the screen before he gets himself popped out there. That's what I do know. But yes, guys, I'm going to have to end this live in about 10 minutes. So if you guys have anything you guys want to say, let me know. I appreciate it.
I just want to say thank you, Pro White, for your channel and allow me to come and speak my piece. Thank you. And thank the rest of the panel for allowing me to speak my piece and all what you all said. Y'all don't know, y'all really made this Black Woman Day today. Thank you.
Don't it feel good?
Thank you. Yes.
To be able to speak the truth.
Yes. Yeah, that part. Yes.
The truth shall set you free.
Yes. Yeah, get off this damn plantation. I'm telling Black is saying that's the real plantation.
It really is. Because it's not enough for them just it's not like on our actual plantation where they just work you to death. The Black community wants all of you. It devours you. It takes you body, soul, and mind. And it's just like they brainwash you into believing in the victimhood, yet somehow if you're a woman, you're not the victim, you're the warrior. And then you have to use all, because one of the reasons why a lot of people fear Black women is because our spirituality is something else. And they use that and they gaslight that, because Black males, while we are talking about them because they're the ones who use us and abuse us the most, they're not the only ones who use our spirituality. That's the reason why there's all this gaslighting to make sure and bringing us into other people's struggles. Every single time that somebody does something that's not right, like anytime like a trans person, a gay person, anything does something that's not right, and I'm not talking about them being who they are, but just in general, when they do something wrong, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, well, what about whenever you sound like whenever white people didn't want Black people to do X, Y, Z? Why are you always bringing us into your struggles? Leave us alone.
Yes. But I blame Black women for that too.
I'm not sitting here. This is not to negate any type of responsibility or anything like that, because Black women do have to be held accountable for the things that we've done and the things that we allow. But I'm just saying that people know how powerful we are and they use it against us, which is a reason why they have to do that mind fuck of making us feel worthless, but at the same time using our power. and nobody does this more than our sons.
Yeah.
So it's just it's this thing, because right now, yes, we're talking about the males, but all of them do that to us. Every single time that some white person wants to whine about something, the first thing they do is pull us into the struggle. The health at every size movement. Some white woman wants to be a well and doesn't want to take care of her health. The first thing she does is talk about how all bodies are good bodies, and talk about how Black women had some movement back in the 60s about our bodies. And that's not even true. Like, what the F, woman?
Wow. Yeah.
They bring us into everything, and everybody uses us, but we're not allowed to defend ourselves. And that really needs to be where we need to be at. Well, yes, we need to separate ourselves from the men, but we need to separate ourselves from everybody using us. All of them.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so true. Yeah. I think the whole thing is, well, I totally agree with everything what you said. I guess in my experiences, I have seen Black women volunteer and try to drag me into volunteering
Yes,
to
that's
champion for
the
everybody else's
mindset.
causes. But then when I say, why Black women get murdered every 5 hours, you hear crickets. So
Yeah.
that's what pisses me
That's the
off.
mindset. We're basically being told we are worthless, but at the same time, then why do you need our energy to further your purpose? If we're worthless, nobody wants us, nobody cares about us, then that we're being unalived every 4.5 hours or whatever, then why do you still need our labor? Why do you still need our tears? Why do you still need our voices to keep on perpetuating what you have? Because you know how powerful we are, but you need us to believe that we aren't. But you still got to beg us.
Right. Black women, they just got to turn away. They just got to turn away. They just got to hand them their entire ass to kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do.
Yeah.
I
So we jump up and volunteer
not this Black
because
woman here. No.
yeah, we volunteer because because they made us believe that we're worthless, and the only time we're seen as worthy is when we're fighting somebody else's battles. That's why we volunteer, and it's sad.
It's so
we gotta
sad.
stop doing that.
It is so sad. Yeah. It is so sad.
VW, I do appreciate you coming up. Melinda, Dark Mother, I appreciate all of you guys coming up. Unfortunately, I do have to end this because it's almost 3:00 a.m. where I'm at. I know some of you are
staying up so I could finally catch one. So
yeah, I'm going to try to do these more often, these lives later on and stuff like that. I'll try to do more lives. That's what I'm going to try to do because that seems to work better with everybody because we're all on different time zones. But I do have to get up in a few hours to get to where I need to go. But VW, hopefully you subscribe and you enjoy this channel. You're welcome back on this channel. Dark Mother, thank you so much for coming again. I love seeing you here. I know we don't all agree on everything.
Right.
But I do appreciate you being here. But we do need to focus on the bigger situation as hand because we're all Black women and we need to come together with white men. We really do. Brent, do you have any last statements that you want to leave before I end this?
Yeah, let me just say real quick. I thank you for having me up here, Pro White Male Leadership. I always enjoy coming on your channel. And I would just say to the panel, Dark Mother's Vessel, I always love listening to you. You always have great points. Melinda, 1973, young lady, I always love listening to you. And VW, it was good to meet you and listen to your points. And ladies, you made this panel beautiful. And look, this was a great live. And when I come on Pro White Male Leadership's channel, it never disappoints. It never does. And ladies, you're beautiful. And you had a lot of excellent points. And ladies, you are the prize. Black women, statistically, you lead the way in education, entrepreneurship. You lead the way in marriage. Seriously, you do. And you are the most beautiful women on the planet. Embrace that. Let that sink in. And I'm a white guy from a white neighborhood and I could see the beauty in black women as a boy growing up to be a man. Ladies, you are more beautiful. You have more power than you even know. And don't settle for the okey doke, listening to these betas tell you this crazy stuff that other men don't want you, because that is a damn lie. We want you, and look, and we see the beauty. And you know what? Interracial marriages are growing rapidly with black women. And the most successful marriage when it comes to white men, it's not with Becky, it's with black women. We have a more successful marriage with a black woman. We have more wealth. Everything is better. So that speaks on your character. And that speaks how beautiful and amazing you are, ladies. And I'm speaking to black women in general. But ladies on the panel, you had such great points. Wow. And I enjoyed this tonight. Thank you so much, Pro-White Leadership, for having me. Thank you, ladies, for your input. I enjoyed tonight. This was a beautiful night. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Dark Mother. I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to say I wanted to say thank you to you, Pro-White Male Leadership. And my last thought is basically get other black women, if we're gonna pull this off, get other black women to start listening to their intuition, because everything is so backwards now. We have forgotten to listen to our intuition. Like VW said, so it was backwards. It's always been backwards, and it just doesn't make. When you start questioning why is it like this, listen to that, dig a little bit deeper and go further and find out why it really is like this. And that's all I have to say, just till the next time that we meet. Thank you for allowing us to come up and voice our opinions on these matters. And if anybody is interested, definitely look into Cedric Marks, because that whole case is crazy. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Dark Mother. I do appreciate that. VW, you have anything else to say?
Not for tonight, except for I will be subscribing. I will be turning on notifications to your channel. I'm glad the algorithm somehow linked me to your channel. And thank you all for letting me in on the panel, and not only that, letting me speak. I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, and you're welcome to come back. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Brent, thank you so much for being on this live. I do appreciate it. I love having you on my lives. Your presence is definitely needed here. Your opinions definitely matter. Thank you so much. And I will definitely be tuning into your live, your anniversary tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. And my wife's going to be on there. We're going to talk about our marriage and family and our 29 years of marriage. And, we just want to share the happiness we have with you guys. And everybody's invited. And, I want to show the true blessings, of an interracial relationship. And I chose the black woman and I won. And I've been blessed my whole life. And look, people have hated me all the way. And that's okay. Because you know what? I've been blessed amongst men. But anyway, it'll be at 3:00 Eastern time. And I appreciate it. And ladies on the panel, thank you so much. And Pro-White Leadership, get some rest, young lady.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And VW, please go to Roadrunner's channel, Swirl to Invest. He has an amazing channel. Brent, please put your channel in the chat. So any new person to this live or to my channel can get your channel. Yes. VW, thank you again for coming back. I want to see you back. You're free to speak on this panel. And thank you so much again for the support.
You're welcome, White Male Leadership. And I was going to ask about his channel, and I want to say congratulations, Brent, on your anniversary. Yeah, I want to check that out.
Oh yeah, thanks. I'll put the channel in here. Let me just put it in the chat real quick. And it's
yes, I can get linked to that so I won't forget tomorrow. Well, later on today.
Yeah, it's Roadrunner 89 Swirl to Investment Network. And Swirl to Investment is a slogan I came up with. We know what swirling is, right? Interracial dating.
Right.
Investment means marriage. And I promote swirling to marriage. That's basically what it is. And the biggest investment you'll ever make is marriage. So I promote swirl to investment. And if you love Black women and you're a non-Black man, that's what we do. We swirl to investment because that's the women we want to be with.
Okay, Roadrunner 89, swirl to investment. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just posted it. It should be on there. Yeah, Roadrunner 89, swirl to investment. Just look it up in YouTube and, come in and join. Yeah, I make videos. I do live shows. And tomorrow, me and my wife, Sandy, are going to celebrate our 29th wedding anniversary. We got married back in May 19th, 1994.
Oh,
we
wow.
have, yeah,
yes,
we got.
Today would have been my, let's see, she's 29, 32nd wedding anniversary today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that's something. I'll definitely will check you out tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Enjoy your night, VW.
You do the same, Pro White Man. Thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all. And get some rest.
I will. Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Okay, Roadrunner, Brent, thank you so much for being here, guys. I'm going to have to cut this live. And yes, I'm going to definitely do these lives again. And then I'm going to go back to regular topics on what we can do. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. I appreciate everyone, all my support, my Patreon members. I am going to do a private meeting this weekend for 2 hours. I know I haven't been going with the Patreon because I've been so busy, but I am going to do a private meeting this weekend, Sunday, most likely. I appreciate everyone tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, good night. I'm going to put you guys in the back. Enjoy your night and stay safe out there.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
No problem.
Good.
The warning signs up ahead, danger. When the green turn to red, danger. You know it's all been said. Danger. The warning signs up ahead, danger. When the green turn to red, danger. You know it's all been said. The warning signs up ahead, danger. When the green turn to red, danger. You know it's all been said. Danger. turn to red. Danger, you know it's all been said.